Hey, everybody, and welcome to Wellness Unpacked, the podcast that helps you kind of wade through all the wellness stuff without, feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah,
And today,
positively.
we are diving deep into meal planning and prepping for healthier eating, which is
Yes.
something that I know you're interested in.
It's a big
Let's
one.
face it,
Yeah.
that daily what's for dinner dilemma
Right.
can be a real struggle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've lost hours of my life just staring blankly into my fridge, hoping a delicious meal will just magically appear.
Yeah.
Anyone else feel me on that?
It's the worst.
Yeah. And speaking of feeling good, before we
Mm.
dive in, let's talk about something that can make your wellness journey even more delightful.
Okay.
Nagano Tonic isn't just another health drink. It's a delicious, powerful elixir designed to make weight loss fun and effortless.
Nice.
You can buy it by visiting https://rebrand.ly, Lee Body Tonic, or clicking the link in the description of this podcast.
Easy.
Okay, back to our deep dive.
Let's do it.
We've got some seriously insightful info from Brown University Health Budget Bites and the Susan G. Komen Foundation.
Those are great sources.
So to help us unpack all of this, we've got an expert in nutrition and healthy living strategies joining us today.
Happy to be here.
What's so fascinating to me about this whole meal prep thing is that it's not just about eating healthier, but it's also about saving time and money, right?
Yeah,
That Brown University article really kind of drove that point home.
absolutely. I mean, think about it. How often do you end up grabbing takeout or, hitting that drive-through because you just don't have the time or the energy to cook after a long day?
Oh, totally.
Right. And those meals, they might be convenient in the moment, but they can really sabotage your health goals.
Oh, tell me about it. My takeout app probably knows me better than my own family at this point.
Yeah.
But you're right, those restaurant meals can be calorie bombs packed with sodium and all sorts of things we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
So meal prepping seems like a really smart way to take back control
Totally.
of our plates and our wallets.
For sure.
But I'm curious, what are some of the key benefits of meal planning
Yeah.
that really jumped out at you from the Brown University article?
Well, besides the time and money savings, meal planning can be a game changer for controlling your calorie intake and reaching your health goals.
Okay.
You're in charge of the ingredients, the portions, the cooking methods, which means you're calling the shots on your nutrition.
Okay, that makes total sense. But the big question for me is how to actually fit meal planning
Right.
into an already jam-packed schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we even find the time?
That's where the beauty of this Brown University article comes in. It lays out some really simple steps that anyone can follow.
Okay.
It all starts with setting aside a little time before you go grocery shopping, maybe like 30 minutes on a Sunday evening to plan out your meals for the week. Think of it as a strategic planning session for your taste buds.
I like the way you think.
Yeah.
So it's like a pre-game strategy for the grocery store battle.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm totally down for that.
And here's a pro tip. When you're planning out your week, take a look at your schedule and identify those nights where cooking just isn't going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Maybe you have a late meeting, the kids have soccer practice, or you just know you'll be too wiped to even think about chopping vegetables.
Oh, those nights are definitely real in my world.
Yeah.
What do we do about those?
Well, those are the perfect nights for leftovers or pre-prepped ingredients that you can just throw together really quickly, or even, and I'm giving you permission here, a planned takeout night.
Wait, you're telling me I can plan for
Yeah.
takeout and it's still part of a healthy strategy?
Absolutely.
Mind blown. This
Yeah.
is revolutionary.
Meal planning is all about being realistic and setting yourself up for success. It's not about deprivation or rigid rules.
Yeah.
It's about creating a system that works for you and your lifestyle.
Okay, I'm loving this already.
Yeah.
This feels way less intimidating than I thought. That Budget Bites article actually inspired me to kind of dip my toes into the meal prep waters a while back. And I have to say, even I was surprised at how much easier it made things.
Yeah.
But for someone just starting out, is there a wrong way to approach meal prep?
Not at all.
Okay.
Everyone is different, and the key is to find what works best for you. And that Budget Bites article made a great point about meal prep working best for those who prioritize convenience and efficiency over variety,
Okay.
right? Some people thrive on routine and don't mind eating leftovers, while others crave more variety and spontaneity in their meals.
You know, they're totally right.
Mm.
I have a friend who practically lives on leftovers
Yeah.
and loves it.
Uh-huh.
While I, on the other hand, get bored easily.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely on board with the convenience factor.
Yeah.
Speaking of variety, what about those of us who love crunchy snacks but know they can get soggy if they're prepped in advance?
Right.
Are there any workarounds for that?
Absolutely. That's where a little planning and separate containers come in. And the Budget Bites article had a great list of foods that work well for meal prep and those that, well, don't. And crunchy snacks definitely fall into that pack separately category.
Right.
So that way they stay nice and crisp until you're ready to enjoy them.
Genius.
Yeah,
I'm already feeling like a meal prep ninja.
you got this.
But what about things like roasted veggies,
Yeah.
cooked grains, those kinds of things? Do those hold up well in the fridge?
You might be surprised by how many things work well for meal prep.
Okay.
Roasted vegetables are fantastic.
Uh-huh.
They actually get even more flavorful as they sit.
Really?
Cooked grains like quinoa or brown rice are great to have on hand for quick meals.
Uh-huh.
And even leafy greens like kale can hold up well if you store them properly.
Okay.
It's all about finding what you enjoy and getting creative.
Okay. This is making me way less nervous about the whole thing.
Good.
But what about food going bad?
Yeah.
The Budget Bites article mentioned something about a 4-day rule. For keeping things fresh, is that like a hard and fast rule?
Well,
And what about freezing leftovers? Is that a good option?
freezing is a lifesaver for meal preppers.
Okay.
The FDA guidelines are a good starting point, but honestly, just trust your senses. If something looks or smells off, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Right.
My personal strategy is to prep about 4 days worth of food and then supplement with frozen leftovers for the rest of the week.
Okay.
It's like having your own personal frozen food aisle,
Yeah.
but way healthier and tastier.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
I never thought about it that way.
it works.
Budget Bites also talked about different meal prep formulas,
Uh-huh.
like basic, low-carb vegetarian. How do you know which one to choose?
Yeah.
It seems like there's so many options.
Don't get overwhelmed by the formulas. Think of them as starting points.
Nah.
The best one for you will depend on your dietary needs and preferences.
Right.
Are you trying to cut carbs?
Right.
Are you a vegetarian?
Yeah.
Do you just want a good balance of protein, carbs, and healthy fats?
Once you choose a formula, remember you can always tweak it and make your own.
Yeah.
Add your favorite spices,
Yeah.
experiment with different toppings, and get creative.
I love that it's like choosing a pizza. You have your base,
Uh-huh.
but you can add all your favorite toppings.
There you go.
Speaking of keeping things simple, I'll be honest, sometimes those complicated recipes can be a little intimidating.
Right.
Any advice for keeping things easy, especially for beginners?
Yeah, stick to single recipe meal preps.
Okay.
That way you're getting your protein, grains, and veggies all in one go,
Okay.
which is super efficient and way less overwhelming.
Yeah.
Think sheet pan meals, one-pot pasta dishes, those kinds of things. They're delicious, easy, and perfect for meal prep.
Okay, that's music to my ears. Simple and delicious.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
That Susan G. Komen article really highlighted the connection between meal planning and overall health.
Yeah.
So what stood out to you from that article? What's fascinating about that article is that it emphasizes how maintaining a healthy weight and diet can play a crucial role in reducing the risk of certain diseases like breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And meal prep is like having a secret weapon to make those healthy choices easier, especially when life gets busy.
So it's not just about fitting into our favorite genes.
Right.
It's about feeling good from the inside out.
Exactly. And the Komen article has some fantastic tips for making meal prep work, even with a jam-packed schedule.
Okay.
They recommend starting with a realistic schedule, maybe choose 1 or 2 nights a week to cook, and identify your busy nights for takeout or easy meals.
Okay.
And most importantly, be flexible.
Okay.
Life happens, and your meal plan should be able to adapt.
Right. It's a plan, not a prison sentence.
Exactly.
I also love their tip about using existing ingredients
Yes.
to cut down on waste and shorten that grocery list.
Right.
Do you have any practical examples of how to do that?
Definitely, before you even start planning your meals, raid your pantry, fridge, and freezer. You might be surprised by what you can already use.
We've all been there staring into the abyss of the fridge,
Oh.
wondering what to make.
It happens all the time.
But by using what you have, you're not only saving money, but you're also reducing food waste.
Absolutely.
I'm so guilty of forgetting about those random ingredients hiding in the back of my fridge.
Yeah,
It's like a culinary graveyard back there.
we've all been there.
So when you're making your grocery list, think about meals for the entire week. That includes snacks, too.
Right.
And don't forget about the power of leftovers.
Leftovers.
A rotisserie chicken, for example, can become chicken salad for lunch or be tossed into a soup or stir fry later in the week.
Exactly. So many possibilities.
You know, it's amazing how much time and mental energy we can save with a little planning.
I know, right?
And speaking of making things easier and tastier,
Yeah.
Remember Nagano tonic?
Oh,
It's the perfect complement to your meal prep efforts. Just imagine you've got your healthy meals prepped and ready to go. And to make your wellness journey even more enjoyable, you've got this delicious tonic supporting your goals.
that's the dream.
Grab yours by visiting https://rebrand.lilybodytonic or clicking the link in the description.
It's that easy.
Okay, back to our deep dive.
That's good.
But let's be real. Healthy eating doesn't always feel exciting, especially when we're bombarded with cravings.
Yeah, I hear that.
What about those of us with a serious chip habit?
Right.
How do we make healthier choices without feeling deprived?
I love that you brought this up because that Komen article has some brilliant ideas for healthier substitutions that don't feel like punishment.
Okay.
So instead of reaching for those chips, how about some crunchy carrots or bell peppers?
Okay.
Or try making baked sweet potato fries. They're a crowd pleaser and way healthier than their deep-fried counterparts.
Uh-huh.
Simple swaps like choosing whole grain bread and pasta over refined versions can make a big difference too.
Those are great ideas, and I've heard that veggie noodles are all the rage these days.
Yeah.
Are they a good substitute for regular pasta?
Absolutely. Spaghetti squash or zucchini noodles can be a delicious and lighter alternative to pasta,
Okay.
and they're incredibly versatile. You can use them in stir fries, pasta bakes, or even as a base for salads.
I think we've covered a lot of ground here. It can feel overwhelming. But remember, the key is to start small and build a system that works for you.
Right.
No pressure, no judgment, just small steps towards healthier and happier eating.
Exactly.
What are some final thoughts you'd like to leave our listeners with as they embark on their meal prep journey?
I think the most important thing to remember is that meal planning and prepping aren't about rigid rules or deprivation.
Right.
They're about making healthy eating easier and more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's about taking control of your health and well-being.
Yes.
So celebrate those small wins along the way. And remember, progress over perfection.
Love it. I love that progress over perfection. It's such a good reminder that we don't have to be perfect to make positive changes.
Right. It's all about progress, not perfection.
So to wrap things up, what are some of the biggest takeaways from our deep dive today?
Well, I think we've established that meal planning and prepping aren't about, being a gourmet chef or spending hours in the kitchen.
Right.
It's about creating a system that makes healthy eating easier, more enjoyable, and ultimately helps you take control of your health and well-being.
Absolutely. It's like setting ourselves up for success,
Mm-hmm.
one delicious meal prep at a time.
Exactly.
Now, before we let you go, we want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. Think about one small change you can make this week to incorporate meal planning or prepping into your routine.
Okay.
What will it be?
That's a great challenge. Maybe it's setting aside that 30 minutes on Sunday to plan your meals, or trying out one of those simple single recipe meal preps we talked about.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just committing to packing a healthy lunch one day this week instead of hitting the vending machine.
Every little step counts. And remember, there's no need to go from zero to hero overnight. Start small, experiment, and find what works for you. And to make that healthy journey even more delicious, remember Nagano tonic.
Oh, yes.
It's like a little reward for all your hard work. Click the link in the description or visit https://rebrand.lily-bodytonic to get yours today.
You deserve it.
Thanks for joining us in this deep dive. Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to those amazing articles we discussed. Until next time, happy prepping.
Happy prepping. Absolutely. And remember, it's a journey, not a race. Those small steps can lead to big changes over time.
So true. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but I hope you feel inspired to take charge of your health and well-being through the power of meal planning and prepping.
Me too.
Thanks for tuning in to Wellness Unpacked, and until next time, happy prepping.